What is going on, my crazy 76er fanatics, guys? We are back with another daily pod with your daily 76ers discourse and discussion. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, fans of all ages, this is the moment we've been waiting for. The Sixers, who were hot for a minute, then took a dive with the Denver Nuggets, now are heating back up. We can really see how good this playoff caliber squad is, to see if they are a championship caliber squad, because in the next 3 games, they play Toronto, they play the Magic, and they play Toronto again. So we get to see 3 realistically playoff matchups. But if you're going to say or argue that this team is a championship squad, what makes this team the championship team that it could be, that you hope it is? It's the engine. The engine that makes the bus move. We don't have bus drivers. We have 2 engines, double the horsepower, and double the MVP presence with Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. All-star Paul George highlights not only his role, but highlights what it's like playing with 2 very special players in Embiid and Maxey. Paul George says Joel, Tyrese are our 2 engines. Those guys are going to, rightfully so, demand attention, demand the ball in moments to score, and I got to fit in. More than anything, defensively, I know I can still be elite. What makes this team championship caliber? The 2 engines, let's get over the mic. The 2 engines that they have on this team, because the best teams in the NBA that win the championships always have one of the best players in the NBA on that championship squad. You look at the tail of tape, you look at the way history's been played out. Stephen Curry, Shai Gilgeous, Nikola Jokic, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard. We can go on throughout history, and you look at the past, the best player has been on the championship team. I don't know for how long, y'all. It seems to be the tail of the tape since the tape was been going on. So you check that. Tell me which NBA championship squad won an NBA championship without one of the best players, a top 3 player in the league, on their team. I'll argue with you. Get into the comments and leave it down below, guys. But luckily for the Sixers squad, they do have the ingredients to bring home the gold. They have, if not 2, at least 1 of the best players in the league currently in Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey is a top 5 player right now. Tyrese Maxey is arguably a top 3 player right now, and Tyrese Maxey for sure is an MVP candidate based off the way he's been playing. Joel Embiid is a former MVP. And it's a recently former MVP. 2023, 2 years ago, Joel Embiid was hoisting a trophy as the greatest player in the league, and he still has some of those greatest player tendencies and intangibles. So the thing, or what makes this team championship caliber, if they ever will be, if they are, it's those 2 stars, Joel and Tyrese. And what will the next 3 games show? They'll show what we're talking about is any truth. Can this team compete? Can this team be the best in the East? And it starts by beating the Magic. It continues by beating the Raptors. 2 squads that are holding on tightly to playoff contention spots. And these 2 squads are really good defensively. The Magic, really good defensively. The Raptors, really good defensively. Both squads on the offensive end still have some nicks and some crannies to work out, still have some spacing issues to work out, and still have some usage issues they're trying to figure out. So this is a perfect time for the Sixers to capitalize, build on their confidence, build on the momentum that they're growing, and beat 2 Eastern Conference playoff squads. This team has been playing better. The reason they've been playing better, if you ask Nick Nurse, it's the fact that Joel Embiid has been there. And the fact that Nick Nurse has been impressed with Joel Embiid's recent stints, recent play, here's the reason why. Nick Nurse says the biggest thing that's nice to see more than anything is that he's stringing some games together here, one after another. The same applying to the daily work and all that kind of stuff. Nick Nurse continued by saying, I just think that's important for him to continue to keep playing. That means he's feeling better. That means the rhythm is going to get there. And that's a fact, guys. Joel Embiid was shooting about 43% from the mid-range from the first 19 games of the season. And after that, guys, I think for the remaining 16 games of the season, Joel Embiid has been shooting about 51, 52% from the mid-range. Everyone knows that shooting is a rhythm sport. Everyone knows that shooting comes with rhythm, comes with balance, and comes with focus. And the more you play, the better that jump shot looks. So Joel Embiid has been building a rhythm. Joel Embiid has been playing consistently because for the first time in a long time, Joel Embiid has played 5 games in a row. Embiid in these last 5 games has been a bucket getter, has been a defensive stopper, and most importantly has been improving on the rebounding end. He's been averaging about 28.4 points. He's been averaging about 8 rebounds. He's been averaging close to 5 assists, 1 block per game, and he's been shooting that ball above 50%, which before, earlier in the season, Joel Embiid was shooting that ball below 50%, somewhere in the lower 40s, the higher 40s, but nowhere touching 50. Now you can see Joel Embiid getting his rhythm, getting his groove, getting his shot back. For the first time, he's played 5 games in a row, and in those 5 games, the Sixers are 4-1. 4-1. So how and what will these next 3 games tell us about this Sixer team? Well, it'll tell us how comfortable Joel Embiid is playing in back-to-backs, because there is a back-to-back loaded up against the Toronto Raptors. It'd be interesting to see if he plays in both of those games. Probably not, probably one or the other, which is still going to be a good test to see how this team shapes up against Toronto with Joel and versus without Joel. Be interesting to see if he plays the first half of the back-to-back or the second half. I'm projecting the second half of the back-to-back, because if you're the Sixer team and you can beat the Raptors with Drummond and with Bona without Joel, maybe you have them sit both games. Maybe you really see how competitive this team is and you have them sit both games. But everyone is noticing the impact of Joel Embiid being out there on the court. Even rookie VJ Edgecombe sees the improvement and the constant growth in movement from Joel Embiid laterally and vertically up and down the court. VJ Edgecombe, is speaking on Joel Embiid's improvements this season, says, listen, I'm going to be honest. He's moving way better than I've seen him when I first got here. He's definitely moving way better. He's just being Joel, man. We are all seeing that. Like I said, he's a 30-point scorer every night. He can get 30 points on any given night. So he's super skilled. And the reason that Joel Embiid is the most skilled player on this team is because he's the only true former MVP. The skill that Joel Embiid has pays the bills. The skill that Joel Embiid has is a 30-point-per-game scorer. Do not forget, guys, at all. This is a guy who went, I think, like 32 games in the 2023 season where he didn't play the fourth quarter. He was having 30 points before the fourth quarter even started. And once the fourth quarter started, he sat the entire time. This is that same guy. And of course, he did lose a step. Of course, he did lose some vertical ability, but he still got it. He still got 30-point-per-game chops. He can still get you some defensive stops. Joel will still continue to play well as long as he can trust his body, as long as he can build off of that rhythm, and as long as his team puts him in spots to succeed. As long as he's not overworking from the top of the key, trying to get down to the paint, as long as he's not seeing triple teams and double teams, and if he does see those triple or doubles, he can then kick out and pass off and find the open man, the skip pass, the hockey assists. Joel Embiid will still be producing at similar or close to an MVP level if he is surrounded by the talent that knows how to put him in positions to succeed, guys. I'm loving the way this team's playing. These next 3 games will show you how good this team really is. You're not going to be playing the bad news Dallas Mavericks. You're not going to be playing the questionable Memphis Grizz. You're not going to be playing the trash Washington Wiz. You're going to be playing 3 playoff caliber games against the Raptors and against the Magic. I'm excited to see how those matchups shake up, guys. And I want to see the lead shake up a little bit because I keep hearing Anthony Davis is going to get traded. And the rumor in the NBA is that Anthony Davis is going to get traded out east. Out Eastern Conference, out Eastern Conference. so that we can have more big guys that feel like the beast in the conference, because there's not too much big greatness in the East right now. I think the best big man in the East has been Joel Embiid, and again, he's been a fraction of himself. Anthony Davis to get traded. The rumors are the Detroit Pistons, which I think only makes the Pistons better. If you're able to get off Tobias Harris, Ron Holland, and maybe one more piece, the Pistons are dangerous. The Atlanta Hawks. I'm not sure how dangerous the Atlanta Hawks will be, could be, or shall be with AD, but defensively, Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson, Onyeka Okongwu, Nah, and then Anthony Davis. That's an extremely long, agile, lengthy defense that's going to be really tough for people to find open shots on and attack the paint on. The problem with this AD trade, he's never healthy. I think he just hurt his finger last night, so he's got groin issues, knee issues, ankle issues, eye issues, finger issues, back issues. AD's got issues, y'all. And I wonder what team is going to be willing to take on those issues and give that guy a contract extension. Because trading for AD is not just a this year trade. Trading for AD is a future trade because he's looking to be paid off of an extension as well. It's going to be interesting to see what team out east does make that phone call, does take AD in. Again, Atlanta, again, the Pistons. Those are your two candidates for an Anthony Davis trade. But I want to be honest with you guys, and we got to have this conversation. Does AD make any team out east more scary than before? We saw what Joel did to him once. I'm sure we've seen what Joel has done to him twice. Look at the tape. I know we know what Joel Embiid has done to him 3 times. AD is not stopping Joel Embiid from doing much of anything. Does AD strengthen a team out east? Or does it give Joel Embiid a chance to feast? Because if you have Anthony Davis, you're not going to be as prone to throw double teams at Joel. When you have Anthony Davis, you're not going to be as prone to throw early side help or early shot clock help at Joel. You're going to trust AD a little bit. You're going to see how that matchup plays out. And if you look at the tape, the way the matchup has played out throughout history, Joel Embiid dominates Anthony Davis, averaging over 28 points on AD. An Anthony Davis trade, I feel like, is imminent, guys, and I feel like to the East would make the most sense. But if AD's traded to the East, that just may mean better news for the city of brotherly love and for the city of Philadelphia, guys. Does AD scare you, or does an AD trade you dare for someone to do, guys? Like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you think about this next 3-game stint, about the engine that Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey are, and about the trades of Anthony Davis back out east. Because that could mean, that should mean, that may mean that a team is mortgaging their future giving up Anthony Davis, giving up Ron Holland, giving up Tobias Harris, giving up tradable pieces, giving up assets, and giving up future stars could be what some of these teams do. Now, if you're the Atlanta Hawks, you're only giving up Luke Kennard and Kristaps Porzingis. There's no real future star intangibles there. But Atlanta, with the stretch 4 ability of Kristaps Porzingis, you know how tough it is for the Sixers to guard that pick and pop, that pick and fade. Kristaps Porzingis may be more of a deadly matchup than Anthony Davis against Joel Embiid because of how he spaces the floor, guys. Tell me what you're thinking about an AD trade, because I do think an AD trade may be made and played in the favor of Philadelphia. But that's what the comments are for. Like, comment, and subscribe, guys, as we provide you a daily pod every day.